May 2006, Johannesburg High Court. Tens of thousands turn out in support of Jacob Zuma. When he's acquitted of rape, the scenes of celebration are extraordinary.
He's not guilty. He is not guilty.
Not guilty of rape, but he is still facing court, this time to answer charges of corruption. Jacob Zuma is South Africa's most controversial personality, and we've been given rare access to the man at the centre as he fends off his critics.
Their problem is that they don't know that the people know me better than they do. That's a problem they have. Even the media. They think they know me better. No, the people of this country know me better than they do. They know better how honest I am than they do. They've tried to tell people how useless this man is. The media. They have. They can't succeed because people know me. You know, here, people know me here. Know me better than the media does. That's a problem of the media and whoever else is behind the media.
His court appearances are like campaign rallies, and he's even adopted an ANC struggle anthem as his theme song. It loosely translates to "Bring me my machine gun."
Tell me about that song. Mshinawa, Mshinawa.
It's a nice song. It's a song that made us as soldiers to be really enthused and be rejuvenated and be really to deal with the situation. And that's the song about. Really to deal, to face anything. Sing that song. It's one of them, not the only one. And that's what it is.
And it's relevant to you now then?
Absolutely, it's very relevant. Absolutely.
The rape case was ugly. Zuma was accused of forcing himself on the 31-year-old daughter of an old friend while she was visiting the family home.
Zuma never raped anybody. They raped Zuma.
The plaintive comments from the women's lobby were hardly heard in the commotion.
Well, if he is free, what we're gonna do, because men rape, because they always get away with that, we are not going to stop. Women must speak out. A rape is always a crime. It won't change.
And the allegation has fed theories that a faceless force is targeting Jacob Zuma.
Do you believe that the allegations that have been made against you are part of some sort of conspiracy to stop you from becoming president?
Absolutely, I do. I do because of the manner in which they've been handled, they've been conducted, they have arisen. I certainly do.
Jacob Zuma is a Zulu. He grew up in rural KwaZulu-Natal, herding cattle on the lands where the Zulu King Shaka and his impi soldiers had battled the white colonials. Early on, he too developed a fighting spirit.
Besides my growing up in a natural way as a head boy, looking after cattle and goat, walking up these mountains, playing and doing all things, I was nourished by the stories of resistance and how colonialism had damaged our people.
Jacob Zuma maintains a private compound in his hometown of Nkandla, in one of the most isolated parts of Zululand. It's become a rallying point for his supporters, who won't even consider the possibility that he may be guilty. To them, Jacob Zuma is an untouchable hero of the struggle against white rule. His family is understandably leading his cheer squad.
He is a people's person, and not just a people's person because he talks to people, but because he helps people. I think that is what sets him aside from most people who love people theoretically, but do not act on people's plight.
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps he did do something wrong?
Both the corruption and the rape trial. It's just unlike Jacob. Jacob is a simple man. He hardly owns buildings and shops and things like that. Yet, he's the most corrupt person in the land. So those things were quite confusing. It was just unlike Jacob. I just never believed it.
As a young man, Jacob Zuma joined the African National Congress to fight apartheid. Like Nelson Mandela, he spent years in prison on Robben Island for his ANC military activities, and then 15 years coordinating ANC guerrilla fighters from exile. In 1990, he was one of the first ANC leaders to return to South Africa, and for that he was eventually rewarded with the deputy presidency. It's that history that explains his popularity today.
I think they see the qualities that I actually believe I have. I have the love for the people. I dedicated my life to liberate them and myself. I dedicated my life to fight for freedom so that we are free.
Last year, we all know Jacob Zuma was nominated Newsmaker of the Year. No surprises there. He was sacked.
Zuma accuses journalists like Redi Direko of prejudging his case and being part of the conspiracy to unseat him.
Okay, we're taking your calls on 8830702 446. If he's found not guilty in the corruption trial, for me, it doesn't address my fundamental concerns. We saw his bank statements, bouncing checks, debts, unpaid accounts. That is a fact that was not fabricated. So for me, a man who can't handle his personal accounts, I don't see him handling the country's finances and the economy. I'm
not a bookkeeper. I'm not a bookkeeper. I know that the media has said, how could you run a country if you can't count?
Are you bad with money?
You don't, if you were to run a country, you don't take a test whether you're a good bookkeeper. I don't know, what is it? That is merely a propaganda to say this man can run his finances. What else can you do? There is no president in the world who runs his money, who counts his pennies. It's not done. That's propaganda, my dear. I wish to state categorically that I erred.
Jacob Zuma is accused of poor judgment in more than just financial matters. Once the head of the Moral Regeneration Campaign in South Africa, Zuma's rape trial exposed his personal morals.
The ANC will decide after all of this whether it thinks it can give me the duties or not.
When a politician who could possibly become the next president of the Republic says that if you walk away from an aroused woman, it is akin to rape, that makes my blood boil. That shocks me because it means you don't understand what rape is.
You have been found innocent and the truth has been known.
To compound the case, Zuma admitted that he'd had sex with the woman who was HIV positive and that to try to reduce his chance of infection, he'd had a post-coital shower.
Some people suggested what other measures could be taken.
Given that South Africa has the highest rate of HIV infection in the world, Zuma's conduct and ignorance were astonishing.
Now, those comments coming from somebody of his caliber and stature, those are deadly. Those are deadly.
Should you become president, how could you represent South Africa internationally on the issue of HIV, having slept with someone knowingly without protection?
I'll definitely, absolutely do so.
So, yes, but shouldn't you know better?
I know better. And that's the reason why I acted the way I did. And that's the reason why I apologize to the nation. They don't apologize. You don't even know about them.
But you only apologised because you had to, because it all came out in court.
Of course, that's what you do. You apologise because things have come out, not so. How many people don't apologise on what they do in their bedrooms?
KwaZulu-Natal has traditionally been a politically divided province. It's one of the few parts of South Africa that hasn't been dominated by the ANC. But such is the popularity of Jacob Zuma that he's fast becoming bigger than the party. In a major shift, people are abandoning tribal and political lines, both here and in other parts of the country, to follow him as an individual. In Zululand, there is a sense that a Zulu president would represent a great victory for a proud people, a victory that local chiefs are fighting for.
Isenzo esenzeka kuye ngendlela yokuhlukumezeka ahlukumezwa ngayo kucekelwa phansi isithunzi sakhe sokuthi angakwazi ukuthi aqhubekele phambili nekusasa lakhe manje usathana wonke lona wenza lokho ukuthi akwazi ukuthi agudluleke lokho abaseceleni nesithunzi sakhe sicekelwe phansi ingoba kulingwa yena ulingwa ngoZulu uba kuphela isithunzi sikaZulu.
We know that we've got a main principal challenge.
Zulus are the biggest and strongest tribe in South Africa, and they want to run the country. So when President Thabo Mbeki sacked Deputy President Zuma 15 months ago, some Zulus saw it as a plot to keep them down.
Our strength lies in our unity.
Mbeki's been promoting as his successor a Zulu woman, but she's married to the very man from his own closer tribe who brought the charges against Zuma in the first place. Yet Zuma insists that the battle for power is not tribal.
It has nothing to do with the Zuluness. That's not the issue. You know, the issue of tribalism, the issue of ethnicity, you know, is an issue that politicians often use for their own agendas in whatever way. Wars are fought on ethnicity, when in fact it is not just ethnicity, it is other interests that are involved.
Everywhere that he goes, even beyond Zululand, he attracts crowds. In small communities across South Africa, Zuma is building his reputation as the man of the people. He says that he's never coveted the presidency, but there's no doubt he is conducting a campaign and fighting for his political life.
Do you think people might say, well, he's made mistakes, he can't run his own life, how can he run a country?
How can I not run? I've been running my own life up to now. I have been running my own life. I've got a house here, because you can see Homestead.
Sure,
it's mine.
But you've been described as irresponsible, with poor judgment, little sense of personal responsibility and lacking self-control.
Those are views of people.
Are any of those true?
Not at all true. I wouldn't have survived even the struggle if I'd always wrong judgment. I'm sure I would have been killed or arrested first time.
I agree with those who believe that if the state doesn't manage to prosecute him and get a conviction, then he will become the next president of South Africa. That's what I think. That's what I think. And emphatically for me, it isn't the kind of person that we need at this point in our history.
Jacob Zuma has many names. Most know him as JZ or Msholozi, after his father. But he has an African name that's rarely used.
That's what my father gave me, cheques.
What does it mean? It means the one who jokes and laughs. Is that right?
Jokes and laughs, not at all. In one sense, it means the one who laughs with you was endangering you. Literally. The one who laughs with you was endangering you.
Should I be scared now?
No, do not be scared at all. I would never endanger you. That's just a name.
Does it fit you?
No, it doesn't. I think one part of it might, not everything, because I laugh, and I love laughing. But I'm not danger to anyone. Not a danger at all.